Hello, my name is Misty Hollis. I am serving as a substitute guest today with the Wayne County Connection. I am excited to be with you today. I used to serve a long time ago. So as a board member of WCTV, it's great to be here to host today. And today we have the privilege of interviewing someone who is close and dear to me personally, but also to our county. And we are interviewing Commissioner Denny Burns. Welcome, Commissioner.
Thank you, Misty. It's great to be here.
So as everybody can see, he is not in the studio with me. We are doing this via Zoom due to our COVID situation here in Wayne County. So I appreciate you being flexible and your willingness to be a part of the show today. We're going to just, for the public that's viewing, I just want to let you know, today is really just a very simple, comfortable conversation between us. We want to just celebrate the service of Commissioner Burns. Commissioner Burns will be ending his term at the end of the year, and we wanted just to take time and talk to Commissioner Burns about his service, what he's learned, his experience, and all that's involved in serving our community. So I want to start, may I call you Denny, or would you like me to?
Of course you can, sure. My mother calls me Denny.
So I want to start by just asking, what led you to the decision to run for office as commissioner?
Actually, it was my friendship with Jeff Plaster, who was best man in my wedding, as everyone knows, and he was so involved in the Republican Party, I eventually slowly became part of the party myself, and he asked me if since I owned my own business, I had time to be a commissioner, because you have to give up every Wednesday for 12 years, is what it amounted to. So, yeah, that's how I got in. I really didn't have no grand plan. It just happened.
Just happened. And so it's been 12 years. You've served for 12 years?
Yes, 12 years.
That's amazing.
I know.
I did 8, and that was enough. 12 years is amazing. I'm curious, you as a private business owner going into a public sector and making decisions for those of us that live in this county, what was one of those first moments for you where you went, is this the most productive way we can handle decisions? I mean, I'm just kind of curious from a private sector perspective, your kind of first aha of, yeah, it's definitely different from the private sector.
Yeah. Well, as a contractor, I know a lot of people in business in Richmond, and found out that the county awards a lot of contracts to those businesses that are my friends, and I have to abstain from those votes. And I did not expect that. It's just not just abstaining. I can't lobby my fellow commissioners either. I can't be part of the conversation. So that surprised me that I wasn't able to conduct normal business when you're in public service.
And what is a lot of people feel like the commissioners have all power for all things when it comes to county government. What is the actual role of the commissioners?
The commissioners have a similar role as the mayor of Richmond, except that the commissioners are the legislative and the executive body, which is unusual, but that's how it is in all counties. And I tell people being a county commissioner is running a $30 million business with over 400 employees.
That's a lot of employees. I'm not sure people realize the amount of service the county provides across the board. So what's the relationship with county council then? What is that relationship with the commissioners?
county council is the fiscal body of the county, and they have the checkbook. And when you have the checkbook, you pretty well drive the train. In the past, county councils have not been as active as the current county council has been since I've been a commissioner. But their role is to watch the checkbook, and they do it very well.
So are there times that there's been disagreements with county council, and how do y'all work through that? I mean, because you're really seeing it, if you compare it to a mayor, that's one person. With y'all, there's 3 executives, and then you put in the mix of county council.
I get frustrated with council a lot because they won't release money for projects that the commissioners want to do if they don't agree with them. But now, as I'm about to become a private citizen again, I'm okay with that.
Denny, that's awesome. That's fantastic. So I'm curious, when you look back on the 12 years, what is a few projects that just stand out to you to say, yeah, I'm proud we were a part of it?
Actually, the old Reed Hospital is something that I'm very proud that the county joined with the city and made that happen. I don't believe it could have happened without us. Probably could have as it turned out, but at the time, I don't think it could have happened without us. And I also think that, the Western Wayne Sewer District was a project that I'm proud to be part of, and that is going to expand our Gateway Industrial Park. And also recently the Revolving Loan Commission loaned over 33 businesses up to $25,000 each to help them get through this COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm proud to have been a part of that.
I do want to spend a little time talking about COVID with you as you're exiting your time with Commissioner, but I want to save that for a little bit to come back to it. Because when I heard that the county was responding the way that it did to local businesses, I was very proud of what y'all did. Are there still opportunities for businesses regarding loans, or has that time ended?
That loan had an established amount, and we've pretty well depleted it. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think that time has passed.
Okay.
Now, what money we have left, we're discussing possible grants. I think we have 131,000 left, and we may consider grants. We're working with the EDC and the Eastern Regional Planning Commission to see how that might work.
So as you're leaving and you depart in December, what are projects that are still happening that aren't completed that you as a commissioner are proud of and want to ensure continues and moves forward?
Well, I've worked closely with Commissioner Paust, who always has 100 projects under development. But as far as the big projects that we wanted to accomplish, we have. And I think moving forward, it's going to have to be pretty special to get council to go along with us, because we're nervous about future income.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I'm not sure citizens realize the revenue sources that have been depleted due to COVID. So what are those revenue sources that the general public has no idea or have been depleted, or some, maybe not all depleted, of course, but challenged as we move forward?
Misty, I didn't hear you well on that one.
Okay.
Didn't hear what you said. It's distorting too bad.
Okay, I apologize. So let's try this again. What are, as you talked about finances moving forward, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, just talk a little lower.
Okay, all right. As we look at the finances for the county moving forward, what are some of those revenue sources that are going to be depleted due to COVID?
Well, it's going to affect income tax most of all, because it won't change property taxes because they're pretty stable. But income taxes, according to some of our council members, could drop as much as 20 25%. That's going to cause us to reevaluate a lot of the things we do. And, the state has asked counties to move away from property taxes and do more with income taxes. And we've actually tried to accomplish some of that, but now that's going to come back and bite us. And it won't be next year, it'll be the year after that. That's when we are really going to feel it.
Right. So income taxes, would that include food and beverage tax? Would that include the edit tax as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Both of those are funded by, well, the food and beverage tax, we don't have that. Yeah, the city might do it, but we don't have it.
Oh, that's right. I apologize.
Yeah, we have the innkeepers.
Innkeepers tax is what I was referring to. Yeah. Thanks for correcting me. We'd had people freaking out watching this.
Why don't you start over and we'll ask that one again, Misty.
Thank you. So the innkeepers tax is one that would be affected.
Absolutely, and because the hotels business is just tanked, and our tourism board and that whole operation depends on that tax, so they're going to have to make some severe changes to their operation.
Are there other opportunities for income revenue that have been discussed? I do want to celebrate you, the commissioners and council, for a little bit, because people don't know this. We had a bond out for the jail, and y'all made a very purposeful decision during this very difficult time to let that bond, what do we call, what's the language? Let it go away?
We retired that bond, and there was never a discussion about continuing that. Not one person on council or the commissioners thought that we should continue that bond, and we're very proud to give that money back to our taxpayers, a promise that previous commissioners made to our taxpayers, and we're proud to be making that come true. And we did it about a month ago. We finalized it. So everybody's going to get 0.25% more back in their income that won't be property taxed.
So that's, and again, a lot of people don't recognize that's what y'all did in a difficult time with COVID, that you let that suspend, you let it go away, and you let people keep the money that they had coming into their own pockets again. But saying that, though, moving forward, that's going to be a challenge for the commissioners coming in after you and council, would it not be?
Yes, it will. But I was here in 2008 when we had a recession, and we thought that was the end of the world. But our council and the commissioners worked together, and we got through that. And in fact, we're in better shape than we've been in years. So I have no doubt with this council we are going to have on January 1st, and the commissioners we're going to have on January 1st, we are going to get through this. It'll be difficult, but there's no doubt in my mind that they'll get through this in good shape.
So Denny, we're halfway through, and I just want to talk to the viewers a little bit and let them know that if you're watching us, if you've joined us, you're watching the Wayne County Connection program with WCTV, and my name is Misty Hollis. You're the host for today. We are interviewing Commissioner Denny Burns, and Commissioner Burns made the decision, I think about a year ago, not to run for re-election as a county commissioner. And so he has served, it'll be 12 years, and we are just taking time to listen to his wisdom and his stories and his experiences as county commissioner. So welcome to those who might have just joined us. So as we just have maybe 10 minutes left, 12 minutes left here in the show, I do want to spend a little time, and I know it's not a popular subject, but I do want to talk a little bit about COVID and how, from the commissioner's perspective, how we've handled this at the county level. A lot of people don't realize the back end of things and how how all this operates and who's being a part of the conversations as we move forward. So share with us, who is engaged in the day-to-day decisions that y'all are making when you do executive orders? How does all of that process work?
That's a good question. The commissioners work very closely with the Wayne County Health Department. And Dr. David Jetmore is the Chief Health Officer in Wayne County, and Christine Stinson is the CEO of the Health Department. And we work with them very closely, and also the Health Board, which has several doctors too. And their recommendations to us are hard to ignore. So we're civilians. We don't have medical backgrounds, but we resist some of their suggestions because we also know that there's hundreds and thousands of businesses in Wayne County that are affected every time we make a decision, and that's tempered. As much as we'd like to defeat this COVID-19, we don't want to trash our economy in Wayne County either.
So today we are in basically the third week, the week before Thanksgiving. This isn't airing live, it's going to air later. And we hear that we're at our highest numbers in our county. The governor's office is calling us an orange county. And what does that mean for us right now as a county? Being in an orange county, what does that mean?
As you know, we joined with the mayor and the city to issue a joint proclamation or ordinance but the mayor withdrew it last night, and we'll probably withdraw ours tomorrow. But the governor's order does address exactly our situation. I mean, we have to get people to comply with social distancing and wearing a mask. And for various reasons, people won't do that. So the governor has instituted a process where we would give if a business doesn't comply, we'll give them a verbal warning. If they still don't comply, we'll give them a cease and order. And on the third time, we'll close their business, perhaps even remove their license. The commissioners have not talked about this yet. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but I favor just following the governor's executive order exactly as it's written, and I believe it addresses our situation in Wayne County perfectly.
So who is that body, Commissioner Burns, that will be giving verbal warnings, that will go in and tell a business they might not be able to operate after a period of time? Who is that legal? Is it Sheriff's Department, Police Department? Who's that legal authority?
Well, we haven't worked that out, Misty. Of course, we realize the Health Department has the authority to do it through their food inspectors, but they don't have enough of those. And frankly, we were told yesterday that they are wore out. They're desperate for some rest. And we may seek some, perhaps retired police officers or somebody that's not afraid to do things like that. And we don't want people to get hurt trying to enforce this executive order. But we don't know. We haven't worked that out yet.
And so within that executive order, was there a number of limitations to how many people can be gathered together in a social setting? Were there other areas covered besides just the mask that we need to be aware of?
Yes. The limit is 50. Okay. When you go to orange, the limit is 50. But you can have more than 50 if you submit a plan to the health department and it's approved by them. You can have more. But even if it's 50 and you can't social distance 6 feet from everybody, then 50 is not the number you use. You have to use the number that allows you to social distance. For instance, go ahead. For instance, a bar, you're not allowed to stand at a bar. You have to be seated.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know that. If you go into a bar, you can't stand. And if you do, the bar is in violation.
Okay. And was there some extra income that the federal government or state government has assisted us in managing this process? Did we receive any additional support, financial support for COVID?
Yes, there was through the CARES Act. we were given, I forget the number, but it was over $1 million. And it was given specifically to the president of the county commissioners, which is Commissioner Faust. And
Oh, dear.
he must have bought 1 million face masks. He bought gloves. He bought all these signs that say Wayne County show social distancing, how you can be 6 feet apart. He bought these little thermometers and gave them to everybody that wanted them. We gave away masks in all of our towns. So we have enough masks to mask this entire county a couple of times.
Do you know if there's any additional resources that will be coming down? That, as the governor said, hey, we're going to send you some additional money to help, or are we still managing off that $1 million?
Yeah, we are still working off the original CARES Act money, but they changed the rules. Now you can use CARES Act money for personnel, which that wasn't allowed before, but all it is. So Kenny wisely has withdrawn some of his plans for projects and realized that he could give that money to our council and they can use it for personnel expenses, and there were lots of them. So I'm proud to be part of that too.
Well, I have said on numerous occasions to people that the amount of burden that falls on elected officials with a situation like we're in right now is more than people realize. And I understand people get frustrated. I'm one of those. I've gotten frustrated with decisions as a nonprofit director of how it affected us and how it affected our members. But I just want to ask you on a personal level, what has this has been your last year, and this is what you're leaving with, this COVID issue. Personally, what has this meant to you, and what's the impact meant to you through this process?
Well, it's an honor to serve the people of my county, and I'm surprised that so many people trusted me 12 years. I really am surprised. I never thought that would happen, but I'm really humbled by the people of Wayne County that continue to put me in this seat. But I want to say to my future commissioners to be careful. Continue to treat our county checkbook just like it was your own, and that everybody's watching. And I don't think government should try to be all things to all people. I don't think we were ever designed to be that way. And I go by the motto that government that governs best governs least.
Well, we have just a few minutes left, and I just want to just spend a little time. Is there a topic that you personally, before I ask you a few more questions, I want to give you that chance. Is there a topic that you wanted to address today to make sure that people who are watching know as you're leaving and departing this seat that is on your mind?
I want to tell you some of the satisfying things that I had truly enjoyed working with Commissioner Faust. He's one of the smartest, steadiest, personable man I've ever worked with, and he reeks with integrity, and it's been an honor to serve beside him. I also am very proud of our Sheriff's Department, who got the highest certification you can get in law enforcement in Indiana, and only 5 others in the entire half of the country have a certification as high as the Wayne County Sheriff's Department does, and that lowered our insurance costs. I'm also satisfied that Bob Cipriati is mad at us. Bob, gutted our hospital and walked away and left it to the taxpayers, and the commissioners never stopped harassing Bob. Every time he'd open up a restaurant in Delaware, we were on his website telling the story of Wayne County, and now he's filed a countersuit against us because he's upset. That's the most satisfying thing that's happened this month.
So for those, I'm only laughing because, I was a part of those conversations too. So just for those that are viewing, what Commissioner Burns was celebrating was the previous owner of the old Reed Hospital building, and has determined that he's quite upset at what has happened to that property. and moving forward has come back on the county and the city too, correct? Is the
Yeah, I
city
think so,
included?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's, that's funny. That's hilarious. I didn't expect that to come out of your mouth today. I'm proud I upset somebody. I'm very excited about that.
I know it's terrible, but I'm really happy that he's upset with us.
It's funny how long it took him to be upset at everybody. That's so funny. Well, I interrupted you. So you had shared from the standpoint of Commissioner Paust and the Sheriff's Department certification and Bob Ciprietti being upset.
Yeah, those are satisfying. And I'm very proud of our highway department and the employees of Wayne County who I thought when I first became a commissioner that they were maybe not giving 100%, but after working with them for 12 years, I'm very proud of the guys in our highway department, law enforcement, health department, and all the offices within the county. Wonderful to work with those people.
Yeah. And for those that are viewing, as we kind of begin to close the process, just from the structure of government too, just so you're aware, when we do have the 3 commissioners that are the elected executive body, they still have to work with all elected other offices. So they're not over the recorder, they're not over the auditor, they're not over the clerk. Correct, Denny?
That's correct, and that's why it takes a personality like Ken Paust to herd these cats.
Well, Denny, on behalf of the citizens of Wayne County, I want to thank you for your service. And as somebody who has served, I know what that means. And I just greatly appreciate the 12 years that you have given. I also want to take time, and will you please thank your wife and your family for sharing you with us. So thank you so much for being with us today, Denny, Commissioner Burns. And for those that are watching, you have been watching the Wayne County Connection program brought to you by WCTV. My name is Misty Hollis. We have interviewed Commissioner Burns today as he is departing his time serving our community for over 12 years. Thank you for watching, and we hope you join us the next time for Wayne County Connection. Have a great day.